Pipe him in.
We'll have to sit him down.
I thought maybe you're looking like I was going to fall off the back here or something. Well, this is moving on. Obviously, the last guaranteed opportunity for our seniors to play in Nippert Stadium, and that's a big deal. There's a lot of guys that have been here for quite a while and have really, put this program to where it is today. And I don't know if it's 30. I don't know how many exactly that is. And roster management today's day and age is a little bit more difficult to try to exactly figure out, based off of what happened last year. But we know this, that there's some special people that have done some special things. And I don't just mean win football games. I mean, really kind of, change a locker room and create, an expectation, create a brotherhood, and create a lot of amazing things that I know as to what football really is. And people outside of it only recognize sometimes, wins and losses and things like that. But the things that are special about this game, that's what I'm most excited about. What these guys that have been here for quite a while have really kind of created. And sometimes a coach, you don't take enough time to reflect and to realize and to recognize how special that is and how special those guys are. So this will be a big week for them to, obviously be recognized, but also to play a big game. This is one that they've been talking about and waiting for quite some time. And I know they're excited about it being here, and it's going to be quite a challenge.
Last year you had to say goodbye to some kids who were building blocks to what you built here at Cincinnati. This group is even more so a huge building block to that. Do you think there'll be some emotions from you as you're saying, so long ago?
Every year, I think you hope that there's going to be those kinds of emotions because, the great thing about it is you've had these guys for 4, 5, 6 years. Sometimes in your first couple of years, not that you weren't, those guys didn't do an incredible job in helping you create things. It's just, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years with them, maybe you don't know them quite as well and see them grow up quite as much. And so, yeah, I think when you get to these points in times, not just me, it's, think about Gino Guidugli and his relationship with Desmond Ritter and some of those things. So it's a tough time. It's an emotional time for everybody, but I think that, it's also about a football game. And, so there's quite a balance there.
Is it a little hard to believe that some of those guys, Marcus, Joel, Curtis, were here before you were?
It is. It is kind of crazy to kind of think about, and they've been, able to see a lot of different things, and whether it's been 5 years or 6 years for some, it's amazing. It's I don't know that college football was meant to be 6 years long, just based on. I don't mean that like that's. I mean, my dad told me at one time, say, play as long as you can, man, because once you start working, you never stop working, and so. Those guys have had an opportunity maybe to play a little bit longer and than some of us in college. But I just think that it's a lot of work and it's a lot of growing. And the thing about it is you got new guys coming every single year. And think about Joel and those guys that have seen a new group of 17, 18, 19-year-olds 5 or 6 different times. And, that could be tough on them. But they've done an unbelievable job, and it'll be tough.
You mentioned Des. Can you even put into words what he's meant to this program?
No, and it's one of those things as a coach. I try not to, think about and dwell upon a whole lot because it can take a lot of your energy and emotion. And that's going to be something that those guys have got to be able to balance as well because it's a big week. It's a huge game, and so it's hard. It's definitely hard. We thought about it last year when there was an opportunity for him to leave, and and he didn't. So we got to enjoy another, year or so with him, and try not to think about it a whole lot just yet. And sometimes you start to think about it when it's all said and done. It's too, it's too late. Sometimes too late to say your goodbyes or thank yous. But the good thing is you know these guys well enough now that I think that in some way, somehow, they'll be a part of your life no matter how long and how far away you are.
Do you guys ever, I know you don't like to reflect a lot, especially during the season, but do you guys ever talk about that time when you had to, you had to kind of re-recruit him after he had already committed here?
No, I mean, it's we're always so busy. The chance to sit down and do some of that is, doesn't happen. I mean, after the season last year, I had 3.5 hours with him, but I don't think we once reflected on, hey, remember when we had to go re-recruit you? It was more about, hey, here's your future. Here's the things we find. Here's what we hear. We want you to do what's best for you. And, maybe at some point in time when it's all said and done, you when you bring them back, you have those opportunities. But heck, once they walk out of here, a new journey in their life begins. And it's a really difficult one, whether that's continuing to try to play the game of football or moving on in life. And that's the most difficult, I think, thing with some of those guys, no matter what, is, people say, well, don't you stay in contact with them? Well, yes, you're busy, but also those guys are, no matter what they're doing, it's a completely new journey in their life, and it's really, really, really difficult. And, so you have a hard time maybe reflecting on those things and spending much time with them afterwards.
We know you gave the game ball to Des after the game at where were we at last? South Florida. We weren't in the locker room. Can you kind of tell us and how that moment went as you were celebrating that way?
Well, that's why you're not in the locker room, because it's no. I mean, those are things amongst that family that I just think. I mean, it wasn't like we made a big celebration. We don't like to overdo, and that's what we said right off the bat. We don't like to, point out a lot of individual things, but this one obviously needed to be recognized, and it's even a little bit more special when you can, kind of jab it in the face of the Hall of Famer that we got in Coach Goodoulley. So I think we all kind of, like to play around with that and maybe even use that to overshadow, individualizing what Desmond has done. But, he's done a phenomenal job. And to do it over that long of a period of time, it takes a lot of consistency. And to me, that's the hallmark of greatness, is guys that can do it over time. I mean, I've all seen guys maybe do it for a year and a half, but to do it over a period of time that he has and the consistency that in which he's done it, it's unbelievable.
SMU's a big passing team. Was there anything you saw film study of USF that second half that allowed them to have success through the air?
Yeah, there's some definite things we got to do a better job of. I think, like I said, first and foremost, it just come down a little bit more discipline, finishing things. But I think every week we've, that's the good thing about what our guys have recognized for the last few years, that, we celebrate the victories and things like that, but we also are really critical of how we do things. And we've been very fortunate here to talk about having to learn from a win as opposed to, the other way. And so there's a lot of little things there that, we can do. We know we can do a better job of, and it's not just at one level. I think sometimes that's what people think. Wow, the back end. No, it's at all levels of our defense, and those are the things that help you continue to grow. So we'll be challenged and tested, that's for sure, this week. Not just throwing the football, but in those intermediate routes maybe, and also the deep ones.
New quarterback at SMU, but how do they compare to years past? Are they similar in terms of system?
They are. I think that they're continuing to evolve. I mean, I'm not sure if this is the third year with the OC. With Riley, I'm not sure exactly, but you can see an evolution. Obviously they've continued to reload at quarterback with guys that are very, very, very talented, and not just the ability to throw it too. I mean, I think the thing that when you throw it as well as they have and they do, I think what gets overlooked is sometimes the quarterback's ability to make some things happen, whether he's being pressured, be able to deliver it at the right time, be able to keep the thing alive, and be able to run a little bit too. So today's day and age of a quarterback being one-dimensional is, the great ones aren't. And, I think that he's a very, very, very good one, obviously, with 37 touchdown passes, and it's not just his ability to throw the football. Good?
Injuries. I know you always love to get that question. Had a couple guys out coming into the game, got a little bit banged up during the game. Anything you can share?
Well, last week I was probably not telling you the truth because we did this on a Tuesday when we actually had practiced on a Monday. So I didn't just not that I didn't tell you the truth. I just didn't divulge that some guys didn't practice. The great thing about today is I'm not lying to you because we haven't practiced yet. So I don't know exactly. You hope that you can get some guys back and they heal up a little bit. But hey, it's week 11. You're going to have all kinds of things. I think every time you get into that second half, that's last third of the season, that you're going to have some game time decisions. And last week we had some game time decisions and they didn't happen to make it. But I couldn't have told you even on a Thursday for sure if I knew. So we'll go out there today, and obviously there'll be some guys that are limited in some ways, but we'll have to see as we move forward.
I think after the game in sophomore, you said the thing keeping you up at night was just not being able to close out games in the fourth quarter and kind of run away at the end. Is there something that you can see that there's not that killer instinct that you guys maybe had early in the year? Is it just the wear and tear of a season, teams playing different?
Well, I do think. You got to give other teams credit too. I mean, at some point in time, I think old school ways, the Jim Kelly era, if all of a sudden you're up by 3 touchdowns, the coach says, hey, let's get out of this thing and run the football. And that's not the way of the world today. I mean, guys get down 3 or 4 touchdowns and, they're slinging it and firing away. And I think we understand that. We know that, we've got to do a better job at still staying sound in what we do. And, I think that's always kind of been a little bit of our Achilles heel defensively is you get frustrated when big things happen. And when you do that, then it compounds. And but I think there are little things that we can do a lot better job of. Yes, is it closing out? Yeah, I'd feel better, and we'd all have maybe not been worried about the TV turning off at 9:00 because they went to a soccer game. Like my kids told me that when all of a sudden we let it back into the mix a little bit. But all those things are things you got to continue to grow on, and especially late in the season.
This is a little off topic, but you guys.
No, really.
You guys in Georgia had obviously 2 really good seasons this year. Is there anything from that game that specifically you feel like prepared or impacted you guys on the field this year?
No, I mean challenges are what impact you. I mean, if you want to climb a mountain like we've talked about, there's going to be obstacles, there's going to be challenges, and was no greater one than we faced in the bowl game, and a team with obviously incredible athletes and things like that. But only thing I think it does is just challenge you, just test you, it makes you have to recognize if you want to be one of the best, that you're going to have to be able to compete with the best, and you're going to have to be able to beat the best, and sometimes until you've actually stepped on the field and recognized maybe what the best really looks like, you don't know. And so I think things like that. But once you get into a season, I mean, I could sit here and talk for a while and tell you that I thought that going into the season there was 4 or 5 teams that were just like us, and they're not all in the same place right now. And who knows why, but it is what it is. And, we got to be us, and we got to focus on us, and we got to continue to move forward. I'd be lying if I told you what that spot was because I don't really know. I know this, that we've got some really, we got a really tough game this week. We got a really tough game the following week. If we're fortunate enough to get a third one in there, we'll have another really tough one that'll give us any opportunities that we want. And I truly believe that. So whatever that is right now or not, I know you've got to be in the realm if you want any shot. And all we care about is that we're in the realm. And now we've got to be able to take care of our business.
SMU is a team that likes to throw the ball around the yard, which is probably inviting for you guys, but is it something that you guys are going to do differently this week compared to the previous week?
Yeah, we're going to do everything different. We're going to put 5 D linemen. We're going to continue to be who we are and make sure that we've got some balance to what we do and rely upon all 3 phases of the game. And if you want to beat a team like this, you're going to have to play in all 3 phases. You're going to have to play complementary football. It's not just, hey, the defense has got to do this, or hey, the offense has got to do this. No, we've all got to do things well together.
Is Tyler coming to DB this game?
Tyler may be a DB, and Ethan Wright, even after last week, may be a DB. So, who knows? We've got a lot of guys that can play some multiple spots, and as you get late in the year, you might need to do that.
Kind of following up on the ranking question, just the attention. I think you talked about it on game day. Just this team and program having to get used to it each week. And you feel like the team has handled it better as the season's gone on?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously 2 weeks ago was a unique situation, and you know, I mean, there's all, like you said, everybody gets wore down late in the year. It is what it is, and you know, so you've got to be able to handle those things. Last week, having to, you know, plan on a Friday and having the Saturday to kind of rest and relax. You can't worry about what they're watching and what they're hearing and what they're saying as long as they're relaxing. And you know, it's, you know, I think middle of the season, I worry a little bit more about it. If they haven't been able to handle it by now, then none of us are going to be able to handle it. And you know, so we're still in a really good place, and that's why I say, yeah, they've done a really good job. Maybe it's affected them in some ways, but by week 11. I mean, it's just like chatter in the background by now. And to me, and I would imagine to most of them as well.
The Beavers didn't walk last year on senior night. Anyone for us to look out for this year?
That's why I said I don't know exactly how many people will, won't. There's some that want to, even though they might want to come back just because that's their class. So today's day and age, the gentler, kinder coaches that you are, you just, you know, let them all, you know, because you don't really know. I mean, there's a lot of guys that, you know, may have some decisions to make. And just by what the NCAA did last year, I mean, every coach is probably sitting right about now saying, I don't know what some of these guys might do. And they might tell you one thing, and then they really might change their mind and do another. I mean, we got, you know, I know Curtis Brooks and Marcus Brown had no intentions last year. So, you know, COVID still is out there for us to, you know, try to manage and handle, you know. But, you know, it's a great opportunity for those guys based on what's best for them. Good. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope y'all had it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pull it out this year. Going on year 5. I think guys like Joel, I think this might be his 3rd or 4th, and so, you know, some of these guys we don't know who's a senior and who's not nowadays. Because I mean, there's guys younger than me who are apparently seniors and that are gonna walk, and then, you know, there's guys older than me. So.
Considering what you've been through and accomplished at this university, how special will Saturday be, and what emotions do you think you'll feel?
I mean, it's going to be a very special moment. You know, coming out here for our last guaranteed opportunity to play on Nippert, play in front of these incredible fans and an incredible atmosphere against a good opponent. And, you know, I could try to tell you what my emotions are going to be like, but, you know, I don't think I'll really know until I walk out on that field and hear my name called. So.
Is there any extra motivation knowing that if you guys take care of business, it won't be your last game at Nippert?
You know, I think that's how we just approach every game, is that we got to really prepare, just how we do every single week. You know, not one game's bigger than another, but obviously, you know, coming up to these final couple games that, you know, we have to finish and take care of business of each one each week to be able to have an opportunity to come back and play here for a final game.
How are you different this year as opposed to last year? You came back for another year to a better football player. How are you different now?
I feel like just more discipline, more mature, you know, not only myself, but the team as a whole. You know, last year, obviously, we had a great run. And, you know, I felt like there were still some pieces missing as far as leadership and bringing the team together as a whole. And this year, you know, I really feel like we've kind of accomplished that as a team. You know, we've grown as brothers, both on and off the field. And, you know, we've understood the goal. And I think, you know, with some of this outside noise of college football playoff and this and that, it's really just only made us stronger, and it's brought us closer together because, you know, when everyone's talking out there and on the outside of this building, it's really just the guys inside this building, inside the locker room, who are able to block it out and kind of just feed off one another.
You had a big game last year. Good.
I just wanted to follow up. How do you feel about this team position right now? Because Coach Fickell talked all year long about winning takes care of our business, but when you look for the 22 weeks left of the season, you guys are right there. How do you feel about your spot in kind of the national scope right now?
Yeah, I feel good. And we always talk about playing our best ball at the end of the year. We're on week 10, week 11, and you know, I feel like, you know, it might sound bad, but I feel like we could still get better. And, you know, we can get better in everything that we do. And it just obviously starts with execution in our play of game. But, you know, I feel like that we're at a good spot. But I also don't feel like we're at our best spot as far as, you know, our play of game. And I feel like there's still just a little bit more we can add on to and reach every single week to get better. And then, you know, instead of saying playing the best ball at the end of the year, playing our best ball at that last game.
I know fans do this, obviously, but when you have a game on a Friday and you have Saturday off, do you guys go over to watch? Do you look at what Oregon or Oklahoma is doing, or not even pay attention to that, see it on Twitter or anything like that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously, as football players, we like to watch a lot of football. So, you know, on Saturdays, it's nice to kind of sit back and relax and watch other college football teams play. You know, whether we care about the rankings or not. You know, some people do, some people don't. But, you know, I think it's fun to sit there and watch because, you know, I know some of these guys on these other teams, and a lot of the guys on the team have buddies on other teams. So to be able to get to sit and watch them play, I think it comes from more of a standpoint of a brotherhood and a relationship more than, you know, let's hope they lose so we can go up a spot.
The SMU game last year was kind of your breakout party. I mean, the national scene kind of found out about Desmond Ritter. You had a great game that night. You told us that you love playing SMU. It's something special when that team is across from you. What is it about SMU that kind of makes you want to, you know, play for a little now?
You know, they always come with a great team, and it's always been a battle every year that we've played them, no matter where we play them here or we play them there. And it's just something about the energy, something about the environment. And like I said, it doesn't matter whether it's here or there, but we know it's a game that, you know, like all others that, you know, we have a history with. You know, we got James Wiggins pick six, come back, had a good game last year, but, you know, there are always battles until right there till the end. And, you know, we always talk about body blows, and which team can take the most. And this is a team that we feel like, you know, can sit there and take the punches. And, you know, we just have to beat them down more than we have any other team. And so that's really what I kind of like about it, is that it's really a fight and it's really a battle all the way until the end.
Do you expect them to defend you, do anything different against you because of how much you were able to really run on them last year?
I can't say that I expect them to do anything different. They've seen me for the past 4 years, so you know, whatever they've seen on tape and for the past 4 years, I feel like they're gonna kind of do the same thing. And you know, like we do, how we play our game. You know, I think they're gonna play their game and just come out and try to be the better team at the time. So you know, we have to show up and play and not do anything different or try to do anything extravagant. But if we just come out and execute our game, you know, I think it'll go well.
I know this is a big picture question, so probably not going to get an answer from me or not, but just because it is senior day, do you have a favorite moment from your time at UC?
Yeah, I would definitely say, obviously right now, the conference championship game. You know, that'll be obviously one that I'll remember for a long time, and you know, hopefully we get the opportunity to play in another conference championship this year and win it. And then I can tell you in a month and a half from now that it'll be going back to back, and those will be my two favorite moments. But yeah, right now, you know, it's a conference championship game. We worked, you know, our butts off for those past couple of years and got close one year, and then to have it come all around circle, it's been huge for me and us.
Well, we said Saturday, him and some of the guys are going to try and do something special for you this week. Is he held to that, or are there anything plans for you for this week?
No, that's the first I heard about it, but I'll make sure to mention something about it for him. Yeah, I'll let him know.
Not on tape.
He said dinner, right?
Something.
We might have to go to hibachi or something.
Any other questions? Thanks, Des.
Thank you.